It is another day of showers and thunderstorms, stealing the show from the heat. We'll talk about that in the weekend forecast next.
Fayette County health officials say they want people to know a child that tested positive for Zika in Lexington poses no health risks to the public.
And we're tracking developing details on a shooting rampage in Munich, Germany.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. Andrea Walker and Amber Philpott reporting. We're ending the week on a very steamy note with plenty of humidity across the area.
Take a look. This is a live picture now of downtown Lexington, and all that humidity might make way for some scattered storms for our weekend. We want to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday. Yep, ending the week pretty much how we have spent the better part of the week, with underachieving temperatures and, yes, some scattered thunderstorms that are going up across the entire area. 86 degrees Lexington or Frankfort, 73 Maysville, 75 Ashland. Those are areas getting in on showers and thunderstorms, and those storms are now beginning to kick it up a notch into parts of the area. Defender Radar Network showing some strong thunderstorms from Carlisle through parts of Fleming County over toward the Moorhead area. All of these storms will put down some very heavy rains as they make their way through. Right on top of downtown Moorhead, this little thunderstorm has been in progress for a little while. That's over toward the Rodburn Elementary area and back on Flemingsburg Road, dealing with some heavier downpours. Let's jump to the northwest and let's get into parts of Carlisle, Nicholas County, Flemingsburg, up into Maysville, where we have flash flood warnings just across the Ohio River. And the lightning with this really picking up over the past 10-15 minutes or so, and that's a sign of an increasing thunderstorm. Lexington Metro, we are okay for now, but over the next hour or two, we're going to see some storms try to pop into the area. Between Stanford and Liberty, right on 127, with a little heavier downpour, and just to the west of Columbia there into Adair County as well. Broaden out the view a little bit to show you the entire bluegrass state, and that weak boundary that was producing those storms to our northwest yesterday is right on top of the area today. Future radar into the next several hours showing those showers and thunderstorms that will begin to diminish somewhat as the sun sets. Though when I come back in a few minutes, we'll track some more boomers in for the 7-day forecast that takes a turn toward the stormy.
All right, Chris, thank you. Authorities in Germany are calling a deadly attack at a mall a case of suspected terrorism.
Witnesses say 3 people with guns opened fire in Munich, Germany, killing at least 6 people and wounding multiple others in a shooting rampage. At this time, it's unknown whether the situation has been contained. Steve Nannis has the latest. It's our top story at 4.
Police in Munich say at least one shooter is still on the loose after opening fire at a McDonald's in a shopping mall. A police spokeswoman says there could be, quote, several dead, but there is no confirmation on casualties at this time. It's also unclear whether there are additional incidents related to this attack and whether more people are involved. The shooting took place a little before 6 p.m. local time at the Olympia shopping mall. At the moment, officials say there is no immediate information about what led to the shooting or possible motive. Police in Munich are urging local residents and tourists to avoid all public areas and avoid posting pictures or video of police operations online. This attack is the latest in a series of recent tragedies in Europe. Last week, 84 people were killed in Nice, France, when a man ran a truck through a celebration for Bastille Day. And earlier this week, a 17-year-old Afghan man injured several people on a train in southern Germany with an axe. I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
The shopping center is next to the Munich Olympic Stadium, where the Palestinian militant group Black September took 11 Israeli athletes hostage and eventually killed them during the 1972 Olympic Games.
The Fayette County Health Department says a baby has been born in Lexington with the Zika virus.
This is the 10th Zika case reported in Kentucky, but the first in Lexington. Our Victor Puente has the latest on the situation.
One of the main things health department leaders say they want people to know is that this mother and her child pose no risk to the public, but they're still asking people to take precautions when it comes to mosquitoes. Fayette County's Commissioner of Health says that mother traveled to a Zika-affected area early in her pregnancy and that her child, who was born in Lexington, showed the presence of Zika antibodies after being tested by the Centers for Disease Control. He says that means the child had the virus, but it has since left their system. He also says the child shows no effects of Zika. The virus can cause microcephaly, or small head size, in children infected in the womb, along with other developmental issues. The health department isn't saying which hospital the child was born at or where the mother had traveled to, but they did say, like each of the other 9 cases in the state, the virus was contracted outside of Kentucky.
In each case, in all cases, they've all been what we call travel related. They were all contracted from exposure to in another country, all right, internationally.
While the child isn't showing any adverse effects of the virus, Humboldt said they are recommending follow-up care just to be sure. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Humboldt advises pregnant women or women planning to become pregnant to consider canceling or delaying travel to Zika-affected areas of the world.
WKYT was on the scene this morning as police uncovered a case of animal abuse. A neighbor called us after finding nearly a dozen animals outside a home on Melbourne Street in Winchester. Police found 20 animals inside and outside the home when they arrived. Chief Kevin Palmer tells us the home is unlivable and smells so bad he couldn't get past the front door. Neighbors say people living in the area say the woman was evicted from her home about a month ago. Police are trying to find the animal's owner.
You have to clean up after animals, and obviously it's been weeks or months since anybody's, or maybe never, tried to clean up after them and take care of them.
The animals will be evaluated and taken to the Clark County Animal Shelter. We'll have the latest on this story ahead on WKYT News at 5. We are working on a number of other stories for you, starting on WKYT at 4:30.
Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. A judge sentencing a man for his best friend's murder today, but the victim's father is not satisfied with that punishment. Mark Taylor received 49 years in prison for the beating death of Alex Johnson. A jury found Taylor guilty last month. Johnson was a chef at UK, and police say he sold marijuana with Taylor. Taylor was not eligible for the death penalty, something that frustrates Johnson's dad.
I don't care what happens to Mark Taylor. I really wish he would be put to death.
Taylor's attorneys are not satisfied either and plan to appeal the judge's decision to the state Supreme Court. He's eligible for parole in 20 years and will get credit for time served. As a Lexington man answers to charges in court for a gruesome murder, new details are coming out about the case. 24-year-old Patrick Jones is accused of killing his ex-girlfriend, 20-year-old Haley Bourgeois. Police say her body was found dismembered in 2 dumpsters along Malibu Drive early yesterday. According to police reports, Jones killed Bourgeois with a wrench and then admitted to the crime to a friend. The couple shared at least one child. We will take a closer look at that case coming up in a report on WKYT News at 5 o'clock. Hundreds of people gathering in Boyle County last night to remember 3 young people killed in a crash. We first broke that tragic news to you yesterday morning here on WKYT. Police say that 21-year-olds Matt Darlin and Brianna Kaufman and 17-year-old Jacob Frick all died after their car hit a stone wall and caught fire on Highway 33 at Faulkner Lane just north of Danville. A 4th passenger, 20-year-old Trevor Thompson, survived the crash. Police say a passerby heading to work first discovered the wreckage and managed to pull Thompson to safety. Investigators are still trying to determine what led to the crash. This is one of several recent fatal crashes in Boyle County. Coming up on WKYT News at 4:30, we'll have more on the recent rash of deadly crashes in that county. That's a look at some of the news in progress on this Friday. Andrea and Amber, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Hillary Clinton is getting ready to announce her running mate just days before the Democrats kick off their convention in Philadelphia.
This announcement comes after Donald Trump laid out his vision for America on the last night of the Republican convention in Cleveland. Steve Nannis has the latest from both camps.
As Republicans head home from Cleveland, Democrats are gearing up for their own pep rally in Philadelphia next week. But before that gets underway, priority number 1 for Hillary Clinton, announce her running mate. Sources say Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia,
a very strong supporter of Secretary Clinton,
and Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack.
My support for Hillary Clinton as the next president of the United States is something that's very personal to me.
Are 2 of the top contenders. The announcement is expected to come Friday, followed by a pep rally in Florida on Saturday to formally unveil the new ticket.
We cannot afford to be so politically correct anymore.
Clinton and her running mate will spend much of next week going after the Republican nominee, Donald Trump. His speech Thursday night at the Republican National Convention drew 2 very different responses. Trump supporters praised the speech for its brutal honesty and inspiring call to action.
Poverty and violence at home, war and destruction abroad will last only as long as we continue relying on the same politicians who created them in the first place.
Critics saw the speech as highly negative, with isolationist tones.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo.
Friday morning, before departing Cleveland, Trump delivered this jab at the timing of Clinton's VP pick.
And Hillary's trying to pick her vice president as fast as possible because she wants to take away a little of the success that we had at this convention.
In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis.
Coming up, how Amazon Prime can help you get a discount on your student loan. That's ahead in Money Watch.
Tinder has already changed love, and now it wants to change friendship. More on the app's newest feature coming up.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
General Motors is recalling more than 300,000 Chevrolet Impala sedans in the U.S. and Canada. That begins today's Money Watch.
The front of the passenger seat could rub against wires, causing the airbag to fail. Some 2009 and 2010 models are affected. GM says 2 crashes and 2 injuries may be related to the problem.
You can get books, clothes, and household goods on Amazon Prime with a touch of a button, and now you can even get a discount on a student loan. Amazon Prime is teaming up with Wells Fargo to offer a 0.5 interest rate discount. While the offer is for members of its Student Prime program, there's no application fee from the bank. Also, repayment doesn't have to start until 6 months after you leave school. Wells Fargo says the undergrad loans available through Amazon come with either fixed or variable interest rates. Graduate students are also eligible for the discount.
The NBA will live stream basketball exhibition games between the U.S. and other countries leading up to the Rio Olympics. Fans can watch 9 games from the U.S. men and women's teams. The first will be streamed tonight on the NBA and USA Basketball Facebook pages for free with no commercials. Tinder is expanding from one-on-one meeting to a group thing. The dating app now features the ability to organize an impromptu night out with friends and a few strangers. The new feature is called Tinder Social. So, say you and a friend want to hit up a concert or bar, the app will match the two of you with others interested in attending the same event. Of course, you still may have a hard time explaining to your significant other why you're using Tinder to socialize with friends. Could be a problem.
We're doing a little crawdad fishing at Bar Y Camp. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about with a paperclip and a hot dog when we return here on WKYT.
Strong thunderstorms on the move across parts of the region. We will track those on your Defender Radar Network right after the break. Stay with us.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, another day of underachieving temperatures across the Bluegrass State. We talked about this yesterday, that this would likely be the scenario, and thunderstorms are going up out there as well, and we're catching one of those as we look toward the east on our live sky cam, looking toward Interstate 64, where some big boomers are blowing up. It's only 86 degrees right now into Lexington. If you're playing along at home, 86 degrees is just below a normal high temperature for this time of year, but the humidity is up there, so it feels warmer at 94 degrees. That's what it feels like. Now look what is flaring up this afternoon on your Defender Radar Network. All kinds of thunderstorms that are just beginning to blossom out there this afternoon. Stretching from Johnson County, Louisa, Lawrence County, back to the northwest into Carlisle and Flemingsburg. And very heavy rains from Flat Gap in Johnson County through Sandy Hook, around the Blaine community there along US 23 into Lawrence County, into sections of Carter County. Moorhead, it has been raining to beat the band on the campus of Moorhead State University over the past hour and change. From Flemingsburg to Carlisle, down into Sharpsburg here in the northern parts of Bath County. Thunderstorms are now really beginning to ramp up. They're dropping in from the north. A ton of lightning with this. Remember, we're only catching 15 minutes worth of lightning on this. If we expanded that out even more, obviously it would just clutter the screen up. But over the past 15 minutes, all the strikes you're seeing there have occurred. That very heavy rain will continue to drop in from north to south. So we got to watch for some flash flooding here in the parts of Nicholas County into Fleming County, maybe Bath and Rowan counties. Other strong thunderstorms right along the AA highway from Maysville back toward the northeast. Lexington Metro At some point, we're going to pop a shower or thunderstorm. Starting to pop a little shower right on top of Winchester here, just to the north of where Interstate 64 meets the Mountain Parkway. Let's jump into southern Kentucky. A little isolated stuff around the Waynesburg area, southern parts of Lincoln County. The overall flow will continue to take whatever is out there and drop it in from north to south. So end of the day tomorrow, very similar to what we've had today so far. Upper 80s, you may hit 90 degrees briefly tomorrow. Humidity's up there, and watch for a shower or thunderstorm that will go up into the heart of the afternoon. And over the next week, the threat for rain is going to increase second half of the weekend and really into much of next week. It's a stormy pattern that we have been used to so far this summer, and it is back in the bluegrass state. Over the next week, this same computer model we've looked at over the past couple of days keeps kind of inching those totals up a little bit. And look at that, it's pushing close to 3 inches in a few spots over the next week. But you also have to keep in mind, computer models, they don't necessarily incorporate rain from thunderstorms that can drop a quick inch or two where you live. So upper 80s, flirting with 90 degrees over the next few days. Next week, it is a daily threat for showers and thunderstorms. We'll keep the high humidity with a lot of muggy mid to upper 80s for highs. Let's check on traffic now on a Friday afternoon. Here's Officer Don.
I've looked at Lexington rush hour traffic, and the collision outbound Harrodsburg Road at Man-O-War has been cleared, so an update on that. It looks like we're okay in the circle and no major issues on 75 north or southbound. As far as drive times go to Nicholasville, still holding 12 to 15 minutes, and no significant problems on Paris Pike on the north side. Now back to the studio.
Thank you, Don. Summertime is a great time for some summer fun.
Deanne Stevens is out and about today checking out some summer camp fun at Bar Y. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at Bar Y checking out all the fabulous activities like a little crawdad fishing. Now, how do you crawdad fish, girls? How do we do that?
We put a hot dog on a paper clip and then tie this paper clip to a string and then put the hot dog part in the water, and then so the crawdads will come there. And then we pull them up when the crawdads gets on.
So what she's saying is a hot dog and a paper clip and some string. Does that help you catch crawdads?
Yes, and one stick.
And one stick. So once you catch those crawdads, what do you do with them?
We look at them, then we let them free.
Well, you all, here, I'm going to give you the string to make your crawdad fishing pole. You've got the hot dog and the paper clip. It's that simple, Jennifer?
It is that simple. The kids here at Bar Y absolutely love crawdad fishing.
Well, I love the creek. It's beautiful. It's cool. It's a fun thing for the kids to do. Being outdoors is such an important thing for the kiddos. Summer camp, you guys offer that here.
We offer wonderful summer camps. We give kids the opportunity to come and be kids, to come outside and get dirty and to experience things that they may not get the opportunity to experience.
I was going to say, some of these kiddos have a little help. Talk a bit about that and how folks can make it possible for these little ones to come.
Right, so the YMCA does offer financial assistance for families to come to camp or just to be a part of any of the Y programs if they're not able to afford that. And then we also have many generous sponsors such as White, Greer, and Maggard who help support our kids here in Fayette County.
I heard Dr. White was out here crawdad fishing not long ago.
Absolutely, yes. He was wonderful.
Sorry, I missed that. Addison, do you do crawdad fishing too?
Yeah.
You grew up at camp here. Talk a bit about it. What's the best part about Bar Y camp?
I think the best part is that the counselors, they always interact with all the kids. They don't just sit down. They play the games with us, and they're just so nice.
I was a camp counselor once. You better interact, right? We're like little kids ourselves. All right, coming up at 4:50, there's this game called Gaga. What are we getting in the Gaga pit?
We are. We're going to get in the Gaga pit and have a little bit of fun.
From the crawdad fishing to the Gaga pit, it's all that's offered here at Bar Y camp. You can check more out online at
YMCA.
Perfect. YMCA.com?
Yes.
YMCA.com. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
I liked her face. That was cute. New research confirms a link between alcohol and some forms of cancer. That's ahead in Better Living. And the CDC steps up the fight against the Zika virus, allocating millions of dollars to be sent to affected states.
Tonight's Mega Millions is $15 million, and tomorrow night's Powerball is $390 million.
Now it's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. The Centers for Disease Control will distribute $60 million to states and territories for battling Zika. The money will be released on August 1st to be used for mosquito control and for investigating and monitoring new signs of the virus. Kentucky will receive more than $750,000. Zika has been linked to a serious birth defect causing babies to develop with abnormally small heads. A new study says there is a strong evidence of a link between alcohol and certain types of cancer. Research in the journal Addiction says the heaviest drinking caused the highest risk, and the most likely cancer sites include the larynx, liver, and esophagus. And when smokers try to kick the habit, they are also more likely to cut back on alcohol. A study in England found that within a week of quitting smoking, people were less likely to binge drink, and they were more likely to be classified as light drinkers compared with those who were still smoking. Now let's head to Chris for another check of the weather.
Yeah, thunderstorms now taking center stage as we roll our way into Friday evening, especially into parts of eastern Kentucky. And these storms are really now beginning to ramp it up a notch or two right now, from the Big Sandy Valley back into parts of Fleming County, Nicholas County, northern parts of Bath County, and around the Moorhead area. Watch out, these storms are packing a lot of lightning, a lot of very heavy rains. Could be some local high water issues that we're dealing with over the next few hours. We'll watch those dropping in from north to south.
Sounds good. The weekend is almost here.
Finally.
Finally.
Right?
We're so excited.
Yeah.
The news is just now getting started. Here's Sam Dick and Amber Philpott with what we're working on at 4:30.